Good morning. It's October the 20th, and it's real early in the morning. I'm in the hubby's chair. My chair has everything surrounding it, so it looks like a cluster thingy. It's a mess. I need to clean up. I have a couple of openings, and then I'll tell you a little bit about the meet and greet with Grandma. It was amazing. But first, let me tell you about this. Yes, this is the second Nick Crate. Now, I love Nick Crate, but they do need to learn some more about their IT, what they can and can't do. Um, you know, we had changed my email, my personal email address, and I had changed all that information on the website, but their PayPal information on there showed my old email. So when I would purchase something, my new email would get the that I had purchased, made the payment. But then when they sent the shipping information, that all went to the old address. So I had contacted them and asked them if they could change that. They told me PayPal was very specific. You couldn't change it once it was in there. And I was like, that doesn't make sense. Because I'd already contacted PayPal. I'd already changed everything over at PayPal. And it just didn't make sense to me. So I talked with them at PayPal, and they said, no, this is something they need to do internally, but sometimes the companies don't do that. So what I had to do was cancel my subscription box and then rejoin up. But in doing that, I was like, I don't want to pay for another box. But someone had showed the $5 link where you could get it $5, so I joined up under the $5 link. And I didn't really care if I got, whatever. But I did get the same thing this time. So those of you, if you change emails, maybe I'm hoping that PayPal did contact them because they can change that in their system, but it takes their IT person to do that. Other than that, Nick Crate's great, but I did get another 2 skeins of the beautiful Euro in that lovely purple color, and another booklet. And this time my stitch marker is a little different, but it's still cute. And yeah, it's great. Now, I got some Happy Mail yesterday, and I was like, okay, who's this from? And the first thing I noticed when I open it up is 2 more of my sugar skull scarves. And there's notes, and it says number 1. So I must follow the rules and open number 1. And I still don't even know who it's from. Not yet. Now, I'm going to read this. This is from Peggy. Peggy Crochets and Kit Kat. Kit Kat must be her kitty. But it's a lovely card, thinking of you. She says, take all of the sugar skull scarves you have and sew them together for an awesome cowl. Ha ha. I saw that and I thought, hey, maybe I should do that. She said, I love iron-on patches to put on my canvas craft bag. Wish this kitty one was extra large size to put on a shirt for your trips to Walmart. I avoid Walmart on the weekends and evenings, seeing how you love cats. My kitty, Kit Kat, is giving you the kitty pin. I named her after the candy bar because she's so sweet. Rescued her from the motor of my car. She rode for 40 minutes at 70 miles per hour on the interstate to my house from work. Oh my goodness! Kit Kat! Kit Kat, don't do that. Not on the motor. I'm surprised, Jane. It isn't junk mail or another bill to pay. It's just some friendly wishes that you'll have a happy day. She sent, of course. Let me see if I can get that up there. Come on. Focus, focus. That is, let's see if I can get the lighting right. That is a Sugar Skull stitch marker. Now you know I'm going to be using that. Sugar Skull is my thing. And I love this saying. You know those little lanyards that you can get that have the stretchable thing? I like using those when I go to the casinos. Yeah, I know, I go to the casinos. But they had one at Walmart one time with this on it, and I wanted it so badly, but it didn't stretch out. It was just a little lanyard, and it didn't give me extra room. Don't stress me out. Oh, the kitty pin is beautiful. Look at that envelope with all the kitties. Kitties, kitties, kitties. Okay, apparently there's a number 2 because there's number 3 there. Because there's more stuff in this bag. And number 2. Oh, this is beautiful. Peggy. There's a book in here, and I'll show you that in a minute. She said she ordered the book from DBNY and thought, oh boy, nope, not for me. It takes all I can do to control one hook. Enjoy it or give it away. She makes these bookmarks to put in surprise bags for church retreats, to give out at parades and any public functions that they have at church. Whenever you use it, remember, God loves you and so do I. God's peace, Peggy. Because you know my thing with the kidneys going on. Is that not beautiful? That is gorgeous. Thank you, Peggy. I'm going to be using it a lot. In fact, I know where it's going right now. It's going to go with me. And that is... Oops. You'll make me cry, Peggy. She stuck a little note on here about her handwriting. It's beautiful. And then another note that says, you do so much for others. Let's celebrate you, Jane. Thank you, Peggy. Knit 1, purl 2 in crochet. Really? Oh my. These are some interesting techniques. And on the back, this is a book by Bendy Carter. I have one pattern by Bendy Carter that I did a scarf in using microspun. and it came out beautiful. Gave it away to the Veterans Hospital because it was done in a real pretty blue. And but it was very interesting, the technique. So I'm going to really enjoy getting into this book. Thank you, Peggy. And then number 3, you've already gone way over and above. You're in his care. Oh, I'm gonna read this out, Peggy. Jane, I'm so very sorry about your ongoing battle with fibromyalgia. Thank you for being real. You are an inspiration. Through your videos, you share Christ's unconditional love. When you asked everyone to pray, cast a spell, etc. for Goosey, it touched my heart. Truly non-judgmental. Non-judgmental. That's what we're supposed to be, folks. What a beautiful message that is for everyone who sees your videos, even when we have our cranky pants on. We all wear them at times. Hugs and prayers, your yarny friend. Oh, Peggy, beautiful. And once again, there's more gifts. Peace. And that beautiful dove stitch marker. Beautiful, beautiful. Gotta wipe the tears. You made me cry, Peggy. Now, my last opening, I didn't open this bag yesterday because as soon as we got home, my husband and I took off the other direction an hour to go get groceries and eat dinner, those kind of things. But let me tell you what happened while I was at AC Moore. I'm going to tell you what my husband did. We still had air conditioners in the windows. I come home, and I'm putting away some stuff that I had, you know. He comes over and he says, look what I did. I'm like, oh, I'm afraid. He had taken all the air conditioners out of the windows and put them away, which is no easy task, and I will tell you why. We store our air conditioners under the stairs that come off into the kitchen. And in front of the kitchen are several boxes of yarn and totes of yarn for the next few months for prayer shawl. And my Bernina sewing machine in its pull cart that I always take to quilting on Fridays, or did before I had the tennis elbow incident. So he moved all of that out, put those away, you know, cleaned them out, put them away, moved it all back. I didn't even know he'd been in there. Then on top of that, in our kitchen, we do not have a kitchen table because we don't eat at the kitchen table. Our apartment is small, so there's no way we can entertain people, invite them over. I mean, in the living room, we have 2 recliners, TV, and a couple of bookshelves, and a lot of totes with yarn. But in the kitchen, because we need more storage space, it's such a small apartment, we have a big shelving system. And on there I have some totes of yarn. I have tools that I use that are in totes. I have a lot of the stuff that I use for prayer shawl at the back. We also do have some things we put up there for food storage. And then other things, like on the very top, we have the polymer clay oven that we have. We have some other boxes. We put our toilet paper, because we buy it in big packs, and our paper towels up on top. And also, my big Bernina machine, the tote, is up on top of that shelving. But along one of the edges, I have hung bags of projects that I'm putting together to work on. My husband, I couldn't reach some of those higher spots to put S-rings to hang those totes on the end. He did that yesterday. He organized it. Is that not a lovely man? Just adorable. But anyway, while we were there, Creative Grandma handed out goodie bags to the first 50 people. Now, there were quite a few people that came and didn't take goodie bags, but they signed up for the 2 baskets that were given away. The 1 basket from Lion Brand was humongous. It was big. Creative Grandma's basket was big, but she was like, oh my, they put mine to shame. Well, they had theirs all professionally wrapped up, you know, a beautiful, huge bow. And I'm pretty sure the bow was what made it look even more spectacular. But Creative Grandma's basket had a lot of goodies in it. And she had some ice yarn in there. But what was included is a nice hook. And this is Nicole Stitch Studios hooks, which these are great hooks. I've used these hooks before and I love them. One of her dishcloth patterns. And I'm not going to show you it. It's probably a freebie. If not, you have to go over and get your own. I may show you the picture. And then, and this is something someone and I were just talking about in Walmart. Some of this beautiful sugar and cream yarn in the Christmas colors. She was going after Christmas color yarn. This is her, it is the pattern 101, the crochet knobby dishcloth. And it's pattern 101, so I'm pretty sure there's probably a tutorial. And then she also gave us some coupons for patterns off of her site. And I've got a list I want to go get, so I will be shopping. But let me tell you, when we walked in, there were people, and there were we got there early. Well, before I got there, I thought, you know, April and Charlie are coming. My friend Vivian from the fire hall that we crochet and knit and mostly talk. But she had decided she was going to come down. So I thought, well, I'll wait till I see somebody's car. I never saw Vivian's car there. And I didn't see April go in before me. So I was finishing up the mandala that I was working on. And because I do need to put another row on it to put it in the hoop. It is finished, but I need to block it. So I will show you the finished project tomorrow. And so I'm crocheting along. I'm listening to the music, bebopping. And I hear this horn honking. So I'm like ignoring the horn. I mean, who do I know in Muncie? And then I hear this knock at the window. And it's Charlie and Minnie filming. It was hilarious. It really was. So I stop and get out and we go in. Now, we get in there and there's a few people standing in line talking to Glenda. So I took a couple of pictures. I did a little video. But I decided I'm not going to use the video. Because there's no reason for me to use the video. When your Creative Grandma posts hers on her YouTube channel, you will get to see what a little bit of the event was about. But we were in line. Vivian was in front of me. We were talking and signing up for the baskets, of course, and getting, Creative Grandma's business card and also the coupons. And then we were going, because she had a table set up with all these lovely items that she has made and done tutorials for and everything else and patterns. And let me tell you, the witch's legs for the chair or the table are beautiful. Video just does not do some of these things justice. I mean, it's gorgeous. And that's one of the patterns that I wanted to get for something else. But I introduced myself to her. She said, oh, good. In a few minutes, we're going to go in the back. There are some other podcasters here. And we're going to do a little film. I'm like, oh, okay. So we get back there. And I have to tell you, I was nervous as a wreck. I really was. Because I have followed Glenda for years. I have a lot of her books. I have a lot of her patterns. But I had never met her. So it was amazing to get to meet her. She is a very warm, loving person. It was fantastic. So she did this little, she does a little promo with each of us filming. And I filmed when she did Charlie and when she did April's. And the only one I didn't get to film, there was a lady at the very end, and Charlie has already posted the picture on her Facebook group of a lady with a witch's hat. And she does Instagram and sells through Instagram. So she did do an interview with her at the very end. And I don't think AC Moore expected what they got. There were quite a few people that came back there. But there were several of us that decided meet and greet. So we're going to stay, we're going to talk, but they didn't have any chairs out. So most of us were standing there and talking, although April cannot stand very long because some of her health issues. So I got to tell you, Joyce at AC Moore was fantastic. They went back to the back. They got some folding chairs, brought them out for us to sit on. We tried to stay in the aisles out of the way when some people would come around the corner and they'd go, what's going on? Because they could see her there. Not only that, but her grandson and daughter, Lori, Brandon, her grandson, and daughter, Lori, were filming the entire time. We were like, what's going on? I said, we would tell them, this is Creative Grandma. She has a YouTube channel. She does crochet. She does crochet tutorials. She's having a meet and greet. Sign up for the basket. Go out, meet her, see some of the objects that she creates, some patterns, and get some yarn while you're at it. It's great. And we also told a couple of people, if you don't crochet or knit, donate the yarn. You can use the baskets, donate the yarn. So we did a lot of that. In between, there were some lulls. So we did get to talk with the Glenda and, talk about ideas, about things to do with the channel. Brandon gave us some great tips, and I know at one point I asked Brandon, so when are you going to start teaching these? I'm sure all of us will sign up for a class for filming, for editing. Because Glenda was telling us about how he can do this and this with his editing. It's amazing. She goes, I don't know anything about that kind of stuff. So having a tech guy to help you is fantastic. So it was great to learn the story about how Brandon got her into showing her face with the YouTube channel, those kind of things. We talked about some other channels. Um, and one of the things that we had talked about was Crystal of Bag a Day. How we don't know how she puts out so many tutorials each week. She's a stay-at-home mom and she's homeschooling. And then I get home and I see Crystal has put a notice she's only going to do 1 or 2 tutorials a week because of homeschooling and it's too much. And we were like, that's what we were talking about. How do you do something like that and keep up with it? So we talked about ideas between all of us, problems we see, not with other channels, but that we see as people who are YouTube creators, those kind of things. But it was a great afternoon. We had a good time. And at the very end, we did get, Lori took some pictures of all of us together. And subscribers, you guys were amazing. To come out and to meet and greet, it was amazing. I got to meet Maggie. I got to meet Anne, who is Creative Grandma's admin for her group. I got to meet Proverbs 31 Yarn. Jeannie, you are a hoot. I love you. And yes, we're going to have to figure out how a way to get together and go to the casino just for a great day. And I don't know if you do this, but when I go to the casino, I take my crochet. Yeah, I do. And and I'm not ashamed to crochet in the casino. So we did that. Sally from Jersey Town came down. Let's see, Maggie, Sally, Ann. There were a lot of people I met. I mean, it was just crazy how many people showed up. And on my Facebook group, there's a woman, Janice Lovell, that she came in with this hat on, crocheted hat, and it had rollers in it. She had made it. She brought that in. She's wearing it. And she makes hats and sells them, so she'll sell those hats. But she was so cute because Janice made a comment about she made it as a blonde because she thought as a blonde she'd have more fun. Didn't happen. She has a good sense of humor. And it was just very interesting to get to meet and talk with her. She's in Jersey Shore as well. She works with a different prayer shawl group. It's called Comfort Stitchers, I believe, is what she was telling me. But she also works at the food bank. And each month she makes a different themed hat and she wears it at the food bank. So if you're getting things at Jersey Shore at the food bank, say hi to Janice. And if you want one of those hats, I'll be more than happy to hook you up with her. But you need to send me a private message and I will send you her email so that you can contact with her and talk about other hats if you'd like a hat. And she was showing us her pictures of her hat. The yarn buyer for AC Moore came down from New Jersey. She used to be an art teacher before she joined up with AC Moore. She sculptures out of stone, limestone and alabaster. She was showing some of her sculptures and some of her artwork. Amazing. Everyone that was there was absolutely wonderful, and the staff at AC Moore couldn't have been more accommodating, so kudos to AC Moore. You did a great job. We tried not to hang on to Creative Grandma because she was there to promote AC Moore, the yarns, to her patterns. So I would hope that she thought we were helping because we were steering people that way whenever we could. Although there was one lady that Charlie and I were talking about tackling. She walked by and she had a black scarf with sugar skulls on it. And someone had asked her where she got that and if there were more, and she said, no, this is the only one that was there. So I was teasing them, you need to trip her, tackle her. So, but we didn't, okay? But she heard us and she kind of giggled and, we talked. I did crochet at one point because I did take my crochet. So sitting there, I was crocheting. And I knew Brandon was around filming. Brandon walks over, and all of a sudden, all I see is Brandon's camera right on my hands. And I'm like, oh, great, Brandon. Put a little pressure on me. But it was a good afternoon. And I'm going to say this. If you ever get the chance to meet anyone that you find inspirational in person, do it. Because it was a great afternoon. We had a great time, and it was just a lot of fun. Oh, yes, there was yarn to be had. I have acquisitions. Now, I bought some yarn for the prayer shawl for December, but I'm not going to show that because that's for prayer shawl. That's not for me. I love their marled yarn, and Stitch Studio is one of my favorites. This is called Lilac Marl. Cannot get the true color of that, but it is beautiful. And always, I do love the little bags that they have, the mill-in bags. This was one of them, and it is just a beautiful yarn. It's gorgeous. These are Hanks. I don't know what the fiber is. I have not done a test yet on it, a burn test, to determine what the fiber is, or to get an idea of what the fabric is. But they had yarn sales like crazy. Not only their normal doorbusters, but it seemed like almost every yarn that they had in that store that day was on sale or had special prices. On top of that, there was a 20% coupon that you could use. And I thought, because normally they don't come off the doorbusters. I think it did that day. So it was amazing. And of course, at AC Moore, if there's a 20% off coupon, you can use it, and you can use one other coupon that's like 50% off or 40% off for a regular priced item as well. So, it was good. And that's it. I know I've rambled, talked and talked and talked. So I'll see you again tomorrow. Everybody have a great day. And I still ain't got no cranky pants on today because I'm still flying high from yesterday. Remember, choose kindness.